Howdy, Twin Flames. This is me reporting for a special reason. I usually make my videos once a week, usually after Friday, and to update what's up. But it seems like Divine Universe wants me to share the messages that are of collective value and of importance for many of you out there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you what were the signs that were given to me, and we're gonna look into the symbolic meaning and messages behind these signs that were shown to me this week. So first of all, let me give you some fun good news that just came up, because as I was preparing for the video, I took a shot of prayer beads that I have in my room, because later in the video I'm going to explain about those and how are they're playing role in the message. And as I was recording that photo of the prayer beads, I realized that I haven't lit any candles in a long time in my room, so I just took two candles, the blue and the pink, and I just was gonna light them when I noticed this guy on my wall, and I looked up closer and I took a shot for you guys to see. It's a ladybug. So I feel that this is sign for me that my twin flame is going to propose soon. But even though this cute ladybug interrupted basically the beginning of me, like me making my video, I want to go back and talk about messages that were meant for all of you guys. I'm not saying that this ladybug is not for someone also watching this, but because he definitely wanted to be here to be included in the video, that's for sure. But there's other signs, and as I said, I've been showered with them, and they cannot stay with me any longer, because I cannot wait for the next weekend to come to show you. There's so many things. So first things first, a couple of days ago, my mother came from a walk with the dog, and she said that my dog picked it up, and my dogs usually don't do that. If one of my cats did that, I wouldn't be surprised, but my dogs are not type of dogs that will carry balls around or bones. I used to have dogs like that, but my dogs that I have, mashallah, they are a family. There's a mother, and she had babies, and by the fate, the fate played a role in it. We kept all of them. There's a baby brother and two sisters, and there was just coincidences happening one after another that we couldn't find home for them. So after a year, we decided it would be heartbreaking for them to be separated. So we have all of them. They're very sweet, and they're not hard to take care of, because they're so sweet and nice and very, very, very good dogs. And but they're babies. They're small in size, and they like to play with each other. They have lots of toys and stuff, but they just play with each other and with us. And so this is not something normal for them to do. So one of them picked up this emerald green feather that immediately caught my eye. My mom put it down on the counter, and I said, "Where did you get this?" And she told me that one of the babies picked it up. So, of course, I looked up. I have seen feathers before. I have been given signs of feathers before. I'm sure many of you have had that happen, but I never had the green one before. So I was curious to check it out and look it up and see what it means. And so let's see. Apparently, the green feather means prosperity and good fortune, abundance, and also it's a sign of renewal and growth, and which means, with green being a color of peace and harmony, it may also be a reminder to calm your body and your mind, and to spend much more time in nature than you have been, and allowing the calming effects of nature to heal you. Then also, to make things more weird, you can't make these things up. Next day, I'm sitting outside, and you guys remember when I showed you in a video before, not this, not well, like 2 videos ago, and then my camera was picking up red, 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 red. It was just taking photos of something red, and it had to do with the root chakra. Well, this time camera acted up again, and I was sitting outside, took a shot. I looked up, I picked up the phone, I looked it up, and this is what you see in the screen now. Is that that's the same thing that I looked at, and I have nothing green. Well, I have grass around my house, but I wish it was this green because it's already drying out. It's so hot. There's no rain coming. So this is not, by the way, this is a good opportunity to ask you all. Let's just all pray together for California and for Idaho and other states that are in flames. My heart goes out to them. Please just pray for them. Let's just all take a deep breath and send love to them, and ask Allah, ask God as creator and source to send them rain, send them some rain, and have mercy on them, because this is not God's fault. God is never doing, I mean, it's not the source, it's us. We have done so much pollution. There's been so many things going on, fireworks and everything since July, that the skies are so condensed. And the rain, I told my mom the other day, she says, oh, why is still there is no rain? We are a few states away from California. But she said, why is God not sending the rain? She just said, she didn't say it in a bad way. She said, oh God, send some rain. And I told her, Mom, God is sending the rain. It's actually, it's coming down, but it cannot go through the pollution we have created above our cities. So let's just pray. Let's just pray that God's power and mercy will overcome everything, and that there will be rain falling on our brothers and sisters in these states. And there's a lot of animals there, and the plants and everything's being destroyed. My first door neighbor is a ranger, fire ranger, and he went to help. And we just lost a firefighter from our state. To me, those men are true heroes. They always were. There always will be. And remember how I told you in a couple of videos ago how God sent them to my house, and how they helped me the other night with some strange things happening. And I think these are the true brave men of this world. And so my heart goes out to the family who lost their father, the wife and the 6-year-old child, and everyone, and the mother, and everyone of that brave firefighter. I pray for them. So just let's just all pray together for the rain, and let the creator do it. And we should all say, and so it is, and use that power of twin flame love that we carry inside of ourselves to ask for manifestation of the water from the sky. And remember, when you come in merge with your twin flame in a 3D, and you have that energy available for you to harvest between you and your twin, use always that energy for the good of this world, because this world needs you. You can heal with that energy, and you can help, and you can send love, and you can send Reiki and healing to any place on the planet, because twin flame love and twin flame energy comes from God, and it can pass any distance. And I believe that we will see the rain soon in these states, and the God will turn off these wildfires. And so go back. Let's go back to our video right now. Thank you for praying with me. Amin Zalik, and so it is. So my camera caught a green something green light, and so that got me thinking that this green feather didn't just mean yes, it does mean to go in nature and start healing, but it had to do also with the green chakra, which is the heart chakra. And in the previous video I explained how there were signs of the lotus flower, which is related to the heart of hearts and the heart chakra. And according to those who know better than me, they say the green color signifies heart chakra. It is related to emotions, love, relationships. It also is related to Archangel Raphael, peace be upon him. And when you receive a green feather, it's an indication of healing, nature, plants, and everything that has to do with abundance. It also relates to growth and fertility. So that's the green feather message. And then yesterday I am walking into my car and there's just a plain white piece of paper on the ground, and something tells me that what I always tell you guys, I call it a twin flame voice of an angel. Turn it around. Look it up. And I'm telling to myself, my ego, my consciousness is saying, well, hey, it's just a garbage, just piece of paper on the ground. Why would you pick it up? But then that voice is still there and saying, pick it up, pick it up. It's a message for you. And I pick it up and I really don't expect anything to see on the other side. And I turn it around, and to my surprise, again, there is a sign, and I almost ignored it. I'm sure many of you do that sometimes, but always listen to your inner voice prompting you. It's a good prompt, and the angels are surrounding you, and they're trying to. The whole universe is conspiring to help you with the sign. So I picked it up. It's a pear, and I don't know how many of you are with me for a really long time. If you are, I love you guys. I love you all. I love all of you who are with me short time or long time. But if you're with me long time, then my love goes out for you especially. But you remember when I had someone leave little pears in my front donation box. So this is the second time I have pears as a symbol. And the pear, to me, just the word pear sounds like, it's spelled differently, but it sounds like a pair, like twin flames, like the pairing up, the coming together, the pair, even without looking up what the symbol is. And when I did look up the meaning, it turns out that one needs to take symbolism of the fruit of the pear separately from the pear tree, but one should also first look at the tree meaning, the pear tree. And the principal meaning of the pear tree is found in the song that many Christians will know. It's called the 12 Days of Christmas, which is related to the persecution of mystics and their beliefs. And I myself have experienced this past week so many, I call them troll attacks, online attacks for just saying the truth, just speaking out the truth. And I didn't even have any um, bad attitude towards anyone or anything like that. I was really being myself, and I always have been, but I've never been so badly attacked as the past week. And please share in the comments below if anything similar happened to you in the past week, because it was so intense. It was everywhere. Like everywhere I would even write a sentence, someone would come and attack it badly, like I don't know. And then it was more people coming and agreeing with them, and I was like, I'm not sure where is this coming from. So it had to do with energies going on these days, and this symbolism of mystics being attacked is just right. It just fits right into place. Further down, it describes the the pear tree as something that Sephardic Jews uh, were also considering the pear tree as their sacred symbolism. In ancient China, people believed that pears represented immortality, prosperity, because pear trees live for a long time. In Korea, the pear symbolizes grace and nobility, and the pear tree is related to comfort. But in many Korean legends, the pear tree was related to women and their fertility, and the eating of the fruit would bestow wisdom and health. In some Christian contexts, the pear symbolizes the virgin and the child, and the pear is also symbol of affection in many cultures, but in Chinese language, the word means both pair and separation. So it's interesting that it's a synonym for separation, and we all know what it means to be twin flames in separation. But then, if we look at that special Christmas song that many Christians know called the Partridge and the Pear Tree, the Christmas song, the 12 Days of Christmas, it includes the line which is repeated in every verse. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. So that's like something is hiding in that tree, in that long-lived tree, and it's a bird, and this time it's a partridge. Well, at first sight, this seems very odd because partridges don't really build nests in the trees, nor do they really fly well. So, as birds, when it comes to birds, they're not swans or eagles, but in terms of spiritual achievement, they are still not ready to fly. But then that's just the first day of the gift giving. That's like a modest beginning. And that's very, to me, it gives me goosebumps. It's very symbolic of stages of twin flame journey. So certainly, as the lover acquired more spiritual strength and awakening in this symbolism in the song, then the gifts become more greater and spiritually deal with more significance. For example, swans swimming, and says lords leaping, which is the signs of the zodiac. It represents the signs of the zodiac, or when we say the stars have aligned in the divine timing. Then, furthermore, I found this article that says that there's a little bit even more to that symbolism of why the partridge was chosen as a gift. It says in the Middle English, partridge was derived from the Perdix, who was thrown in the seas from a tower, and then he was carried to heaven in the form of a bird by the Athena. So he was representing the partridge, and she was representing the pear tree. In other words, and this is what the article says, that in other words, this song is an allegory of the lovers and the symbolism of uniting of the masculine and the feminine to reach the higher spirit. And the song is saying this is how you start to go on your spiritual experience. The partridge must be in the pear tree, which means the masculine and the feminine need to unite. And so Perdix, whose name originally meant the lost one, was a form of, which is another form of the name Vishnu Narayana, who is called the Lord of the Pear Trees in the Himalayas, in the Himalaya mountains. So there's obviously a connection between the myth that we find in Himalayas and in Indian subcontinent and the myth that we find in Greek mythology. So back to Greeks, they described how Perdix was a nephew and student of Daedalus, but Perdix turned out to be intellectually more able, and he was a brilliant scholar. And Daedalus was so proud of his own achievements that he could not bear the idea of having a rival. So he was so envious of his nephew that he took an opportunity when they were together one day on the top of the high tower, and he pushed him off. And so Daedalus represents the jealousy and the negative inflation of ego. And there you have the Athena. She saw the falling of her lover, and she arrested his fate by changing him into a bird, which was called after him, so Partridge. And in this way, the conscious self, when it's rid of an ego, becomes a lover to be united with the feminine, which is represented by Athena, who represents the spiritual world. And pear in itself, during medieval times, however, The fruit itself was so extravagantly and deliciously compared to feminine, with its exquisitely golden skin, which yet is firm in texture, but it has a melting sweetness on its flesh, and its vaguely penetrating fragrance, and it's subtle and ravishing, and it has various curves. So it it just pear is surely a fruit perfectly endowed with the qualities which fit to be regarded as symbol of feminine shape, but at the same time, at least according to Albertus Magnus, who wrote in the 13th century, the tree of the pear itself represented the masculine. The pear is considered masculine because of the hardness of its wood, the coarseness of its leaves, and the close texture of its fruit. So, we are the perfect pair. If that doesn't represent, if this fruit and its tree and its fruits doesn't represent the twin flame union of the masculine and feminine, then what better fruit would you take, for example? So I think the sign that we saw, that I'm sharing with you, is excellent to know that right now the reunions are coming. The new wave of reunions is here, and you can almost touch it, and you can almost feel it, and you can almost smell it. And the best of all is the message that I found just by digging through this. Something I had no idea about is that the tree of the pears, or the pear tree, is used to make the prayer beads. Now you're probably wondering which prayer beads I'm talking about, and that's the best part. The prayer beads that were made from the pear wood were most common in the past. Nowadays, they make them from plastic and, PVC beads and whatnot. But at the ancient times, most of the beads were made from from some good and sturdy tree, and in many cases, it was a pear wood. And the beads, the prayer beads, the mantra beads, the chanting beads, we call them in Islam the zikr beads, just opened a new perspective to me, which shows that there is something besides spiritually, there is something in the ritual of every single faith in the world, be it old faith or the one of the three major, so-called major world religions, such as Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. But everybody from Hindus to Sikhs to Buddhists, everybody has prayer beads as part of their faith, and that just blows my mind. I knew a lot of stuff about all these different religions and faiths, but I never realized that we all have the mantra beats, and that should tell us something. We should think deeply about that. Not only that we are all same and that we all come from the same source, and that God loves to be remembered, as it says in the Quran. The zikr is the healing for the heart. The remembrance is brings the healing, the peace to the heart. And I just wanted to tell everybody that I think God is, and also for me, this tespih, this prayer bead, represents unity of all of us in a prayer, like a circle of prayer. So I'm inviting everyone to unite in our spiritual power, in our strength, in our love as these beads, and pray together for the love to prevail on this planet and amongst us. And we should all think of the scattered beads when they fall apart and when they're separated, then they're of no use to a believer, to a worshiper. So we should get together in faith, in love, in spirit. We don't have to physically be together in the same room like we did in this video. We prayed together for the rain to come, and we should do that often and come together in our hearts, in our spirit, and in our minds, and pray for the good things for everyone, for ourselves, for others, for everything in the global on the global scene, and just spread love and peace, and don't let the jealousy of others and the low vibration of others to push us off the cliff, but instead let us believe in the faith of love, and that the pure love will give us wings and will turn us into the birds in the pear tree, and unite us with our twin. I love you guys. I'll keep coming with the new messages as they come to me, because this was very, very non-scripted. Everything I do is non-scripted, and I hope to have more messages for everyone, including myself. And just please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on the little bell so you can get notification that I have made a new video. As soon as as more major messages come, I will post a new video. Love you guys, and peace be upon you, and all the best.